That's right. It is for Chad Reach, Benny Walchuk. He's got the SJHL SportsCage hat on. Where do you land? I need an honest take here, Benny. You can be honest. We're in a safe space on the SportsCage. Before a playoff game, ceremony. Don't do it.
The only one nowadays, I know senior hockey, they do award presentations because they like to do it on the ice. So those don't take very long. So those are the ones I can get by. But if you're honoring somebody for winning the scoring race or like their 1,000th point with whatever team, that's okay. But if they're short 5 minutes, I can bear with those.
Okie dokie. There we go. Let's get into the SJHL. The Melfort Mustangs. We had it circled last week. It was a home and home with Flin Flon.
Yeah.
And the Mustangs.
No, it was a two.
It was a two in Melfort?
No, home and home. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, home and home. Yeah. They took both of them. What did you hear about that game? Take us through it. Is there injuries on the Flin Flon side? Is Melfort just playing good right now? What's the situation?
A little bit of both. Good momentum for Melfort. Got Flin Flon at the right time. And I think I'm not sure how serious it is, but I heard there's a little bit banged up on the Flin Flon Bombers. So that's a team that's maybe needs a rest here in the next couple of weeks. But you got to give hats off to Melfort, playing great hockey. We talked about it. Case in Kabelka is playing very good between the pipes. Madden Malaka got the start on Saturday. He was very good in that win. So hats off to the Melfort Mustangs. And start of the year, I wouldn't have them maybe as a team that would be able to break that perfect streak at home for the Flin Flon Bombers, but it was the Melfort Mustangs, and you give props to them right now because they're playing great hockey. I think they were 9 points out of a playoff spot January 14th, and now they are into sixth place. They could catch Weyburn for fifth right now, and they've clinched the playoff spot. So it's just over a month and a half, a great turnaround for them.
As we look at things, and I'm just checking it out right now in the standings, and if people that maybe don't follow it super close, where's the battle for spots? Who's trailing? Who's in a spot right now? With what are we looking? 10 games left for most teams or less?
Yeah, less than that, probably 5 for most. But you got 4 teams right now battling for that final 2 spots in the SJHL's 7th and 8th seed right now. Melville, Estevan, Kindersley, Humboldt battling. Melville maybe in the driver's seat a little bit. They have 5 games left, 2 against Estevan this weekend, Weyburn, and then 2 against Yorkton. Estevan's got 5 left, 2 against Melville, Melfort, and then home and home with Weyburn. And then the team right now on the outside right now is Kindersley. They only have 3 games left, so it's basically you got to win out and hope for the best as they got Humboldt and Battleford. And then a team like Humboldt right now is currently 6 points back of Melville, 5 points back of that final playoff spot. But maybe their strength of schedule is a little bit easier with 2 of LaRange, 2 Warman, and Kindersley. So that's a battle right now. Then you even look at the top. There's a battle in between for home ice in round 1 to try to avoid some matchups. So it's very interesting to see what's going to happen. And this weekend could be very crucial here going forward.
Weyburn and Yorkton last night 4-2. I think that was a little bit of a measuring stick for both teams, maybe, because Yorkton does have 72 points. Weyburn sitting with 66. It was 4-2 Weyburn. What was that one like?
It was like a playoff game for sure. It was a game that went back and forth. I know talking to Emery, the head coach of the Terriers after the game, they didn't play their structure very good than they had in this great stretch here in 2026. Got away from their game plan a little bit and maybe freelanced a bit. And then Weyburn capitalized on the power play. So hats off to the Red Wings. After a little bit of an up and down 2026 so far, they put it all together. Got good goaltending from Joey Roca last night, the former Swift Current Bronco. And it was just a great game, great crowd. It seemed like a playoff game. Fans were cheering for both sides after everything that was going on, from a dump to a great block or anything like that. And just a note from that game, Barney, last night, the officials maybe don't get talked about as much as they should or in the right thing, but Ryan Lundqvist, of course, Ryan is a longtime official in the Regina area, and he's going to retire from the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League after 25 years linesing in the SJHL. So hats off to Ryan. I've seen him over the years when I've watched it and now called games. He's one of the most consistent and best linespersons we've seen, and he's officiated over 250 regular season games, 10 league finals, and 4 NFA Cups. So congratulations to Ryan on a great career.
Okay, I want to go, let's look at the power rankings here. Colson's going to throw those up, sportscage.com. Flin Flon still, look, like it just seems like it was last week where Melfort was in that 8-9 hole, and we were saying, what's up with Blev's boys? in Melfort. But take us through these. Tell us why these are pretty accurate as far as, because you got your fingerprints all over this.
Yeah, like you said, Flin Flon got the 2 losses and one lost back-to-back games for the first time in quite a while. So them and Yorkton was kind of maybe an argument to who can go 1, who can go 2, and just with our voting crew from across the league, Flin Flon came out on top, and then of course Melfort moved up from 6th to 3rd from last week, and you got Battleford's. Maybe it wasn't because they didn't play. They didn't play a whole lot. Weyburn didn't play a whole lot as well. Just had a big win last night. That was their first game in about 10 days. So then you got Helmboltz in number 9, moving up past Kindersley, who's on the drop. And then Melville had a big win on Tuesday. So they were in 7th last week, and so was Estevan at 8th. So not much movement for that end of things, but it's the Melfort is the biggest jump, and maybe a team like Nipawin who didn't play last week as well. So maybe those teams dropped because they just weren't quite in action this past week.
Nipawin can make some noise because they have the upstart Melfort Mustangs on Friday. When I look at the schedule, that'd be one that I would circle. We got a Battleford, Flin Flon, Yorkton, Melfort. There's some good games this weekend. On your radar, Benny, what do you got?
I got those ones. I got Melville, Estevan right now. They have a home Friday in Estevan, and then Saturday afternoon back in Melville. So 2 games in less than 48 hours. It's a big weekend. Millionaires are having a comedy night this weekend, so it should be a great crowd with some parents coming to town as well. And as you mentioned, Yorkton and Melfort. Yorkton probably have been the best team in 2026, and maybe Melfort's been the best team here in the month of February and March. So the 2 of the hottest teams here in the second half of the season doing battle there on Sunday afternoon in Melfort. So that's a tilt I'm looking for. I'll be on the air with that one. So it's looking forward to it as we're into the home stretch here of the regular season, and still lots on the line.
936-6262. If you can pick this up, this SportsCage SJHL hat, and you haven't won anything in the last 30 days, I want you to call right now. Colson's standing by. 936-6262. We're giving a hat away. Let's shift from the SJHL report, brought to you by Chad Reach, Senior Wealth Advisor, GP Financial Services, and Avisa Wealth. If you have an employee plan, it might not be the right one for you. Sit down with them and talk about it. I want to talk some senior hockey in your neck of the woods. We got, and I know there's some others, but Foam Lake, they slayed the Dragon. As we talked about in the Monday Nooner, and we have the senior hockey report coming up in hour 3, the last time that Keniston was knocked out of a playoff was Foam Lake pre-COVID.
Yeah.
What is this Foam Lake team all about?
You know, I called that game actually, or I didn't call the Keniston series. I did call the Keniston game, and then we went to Redverse. We played Redverse in round number 2, and that's when the world shut down there in March of 2020. So I remember that fondly. But this Foam Lake team, like their league team is so good. Aiden Bolich didn't play a whole lot. He's a former Yorkton Terrier and WHLer. He's back in the lineup, and even their imports they brought in, their additions in provincials, like Andrew Schaub's a great player in the SJHL. Mario Forte is a great player at Tisdale. Then they bring in a guy like Torrey Dick, Corey Thomas, who played with the Flin Flon Bombers, and he's an NCAA player. So they just added some more beef on the back end. And you know what? Like guys like Travis Mayen and Zach Zadarasniak get called upon lots, but you look at the scoring in that series against Keniston, it wasn't those top guys. It was Kyle Jones, and Kyle's a 10-year veteran of the Foam Lake Flyers. He's the captain of the team. He's a teacher that moved from Saskatoon to Foam Lake. He probably had no idea what he was moving into 10 years ago, and now
saved a lot on property taxes.
Yeah, exactly. He met a girl in Foam Lake. They're both teachers, and now Kyle's a good player. Like he played junior B in the PJHL with the Saskatoon Royals, so he wasn't just a guy that played adult save coming in. Maybe I'll go play senior in my team I'm teaching at right now. He's a great player, and he was very good in that series against Keniston. And you talk about Ryland Perron. Ryland's a former WHL player as well, and you thought, maybe with Max Shields, and Max Shields did this, Max Shields did that. Well, Foam Lake has kind of been the nemesis of Max Shields right now, and now they get to play him in the league final, in the Long Lake final against the Lanigan Pirates. So it's a team that are set. Raymore, you look at Raymore's league team is struggling right now against Grenfell in the semifinals, but they add about 5 or 6 guys, I think, to their provincial roster. Eric Greiba and so on and so forth. Adam Evanoff, who played with Moose Jaw, he's their netminder. So it's going to be a good test for the Foam Lake Flyers. But I think Foam Lake, you said, got over that hump, slayed the Dragon of Keniston, and I think it's Foam Lake's to lose.
What? Still, stay on senior here. When you go B, C, or D, is there what else is tweaking your interest?
Yeah, we talk about B, of course, Belcaris, who lost a few guys maybe that went elsewhere to provincials, and the Gubba, which is a family member of my cousin, he just said, "Hey, let's go with our local team. Let's add a couple of guys and let's go B." And they're battling. They won a big overtime game against Rocanville in round number 1, and then they had a tight battle with Oxbow in round number 2, and they're just playing good role. Like, they've got some junior B players that are standing on their head. They have Curtis Meager, of course. Curtis played in the Western Hockey League and the SJHL. He's been very good out of the University of Regina Cougars program. You got Randon Schmidt, who played WHL. Then one guy that's probably not talked about, Brady Poto, has been one of the best defensemen I've seen in senior hockey. He's a big body, 6'4", that played with the Cougars as well. So we'll see if they can run out of gas. They're playing Lumsden right now in league, and sometimes they can catch up to you a little bit. But they're waiting for a matchup between Wilkie and Kenora, and I think going forward, Wilkie and Kenora, I'm sure whoever wins that series is probably going to be the favorite in that final. But I wouldn't hold back the Bronx as well.
Might have to go out to Kenora, see who stole the Kishka, and watch some of that. What do you know about a cat by the name of Kenton Miller? Plays for the Redvers Rockets, played Regina Pat Canadians 06, 07, 07, 08, then Nipawin Hawks, Spokane, Calgary Hitmen, Moose Jaw Warriors, and then some minor pro. The guy gets 5 points, including the overtime winner, as Redvers knocks off the Round Lake Bears. I'm sure you saw the video. It was onside. We slowed it down. We focused in. What a series, and what a way to end it in that nice barn in Ochap.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you look at the roster. Like, Jordan Miller is a good player. Nathan Miller is a player. He played at Verdun in the West and the MJHL. He's a good player. He's another Miller problem. So Kenton's a guy, he's a year older than me. When I played against him growing up, him and Brent Struble were kind of the good players there in the southeast part of that province. And of course, Brent played with the Yorkton Terriers for his junior career, and Kenton went on and played a great WHL career. And they play their sound game. A lot of those guys in Redvers have been playing together for probably 5 or 10 years together. They're all from that area. Brady Gaudet, of course, is in that run. Drew Hoff, who's a former WHL. Those guys put a lot of points up in Western Hockey League. It's not just the guy in Redvers that's playing rec hockey or played a little bit at WHL. Like, those guys put some big numbers up, so they know how to play the right way. And then we talked about Zane Winter last week. Zane's a guy that won the PJHL championship with Fort Knox, and everybody went in and said, "Oh, Dan Bakala is going to out goaltend in Zane Winter. He's a junior B guy," and Zane was very good. Like, you look back at that video, Zane made 2 heck of a saves to save the game, just like maybe 10 seconds before the game-winning goal. So it's going to be a test. Of course, Lumsden is good. Like, Lumsden's deep already, and they've added some more guys. They get Regan Seiferling on the back end. You got some guys like Jared Legion and stuff like that, or he's with Raymore, but other guys you bring in from other parts of the league. So it's going to be a tough test, but I wouldn't bet on Redvers right now. They got over once again that hump at Round Lake, and nobody thought they would win against the Round Lake Bears, but they battle for it, and that's a small barn there in Redvers. They have a good crowd support, and they travel pretty well, so it's going to be a very, very good series in that one too.
I hope it works out that I don't have any kids hockey and I actually can go to a game down in Redvers, because they've sent us messages. Super hospitable. Sounds like a great place. Okay, we got a minute and a half here. I want to get your take on the NHL trade deadline too. I don't even know who's your team again, but with your head, not your heart here. What do you think happens in the next 24 hours?
Well, my team's Vancouver, so it's going to be very interesting to see what they do right now. It was exciting maybe 5 or 6 years here with this run, of course, with the COVID year, and then a great run against Edmonton, but oh boy, is it went downhill right now. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think Connor Garland goes. I think Teddy Bluger goes. Elias Pettersson, I don't think he goes quite yet, but I think maybe he'll go eventually. But we look at the trades right now. It seems like it's a seller's market right now. Nicholas Roy's getting a first-round pick. I know he's going to be a very effective player in the playoffs for Colorado, but he's getting a first-round pick. So we'll see if Robert Thomas gets dealed, to see what kind of trade he might get, or see some other trades. I like to see Braden Shen and Luke come together somewhere. Like, it'd be great for them to come together and maybe a chance to win a Stanley Cup together as 2 Saskatchewan kids. So it's interesting. Minnesota's added some great depth. It's tough if Colton Parayko had that trade clause in his contract. I would have been a great piece for him in Buffalo that adds that huge back end in Buffalo. And I'd like to see Buffalo finally get over the hump and make the playoffs, which it looks like they are. So I think right now on the West, I think it's Colorado's to lose. And on the East, I think it's still pretty wide open right now. I think Carolina could sneak in there, but we'll see what happens.
All right, Benny. Good twirl. Also, Ryan Shaw from Davidson. home of the Cyclones.
Oh.
Picked up this sharp SJHL Sports Cage lid, so he must be coming in to the city. He's going to cruise by. Benny, always a pleasure. Thanks for doing this. Travel safe this weekend, my friend.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.